Good day everyone. Today, we will discuss neurotransmitters, background, highlights, a specific article that is related to a Philippine context. What are neurotransmitters? Neurotransmitters are chemical messengers. So, these are chemical messengers that carry a signal from one neuron to a target cell. So, this can be another nerve cell, a muscle cell, or even a gland. So, where are these neurotransmitters located? Neurotransmitters can be found in a part of the neuron called the axon terminal. These are stored within thin-walled sacs called synaptic vesicles. Each one of these vesicles contain at least thousands and thousands of neurotransmitter molecules. So next, we will go on to how do neurotransmitters carry signals. The electrical charge of a signal traveling across a nerve cell causes the vesicles of the neurotransmitters to fuse with the nerve cell membrane at the very edge of the cell. So what this means is that a signal that contains an electrical charge, this electrical charge causes the vesicles that contain the neurotransmitters to fuse or to interact or to bind with other nerve cell membranes at the cell. So afterwards, these neurotransmitters will now carry a message and then are released from the axon terminal, and then they go to a fluid filled space that is called the synaptic junction. Each and every type of neurotransmitter lands on and binds to a specific receptor on the target cell. Each neurotransmitter is designated for a specific receptor. So it's very similar to how a key can only fit on a specific lock. So next we will go to what action or change do neurotransmitters transmit to the specific target cells that they incur. So after binding, these neurotransmitters will trigger a change or action in the target cell. So depending on what type of neurotransmitter this is, it can transmit one of three possible actions in their messages. So the first one is excitatory. As the word says, this neurotransmitter excites the neuron and causes it to fire off the message. So basically meaning that the message that it received will continue to be passed along to the next cell. So the next type is inhibitory. So inhibitory blocks or prevents the chemical message from being passed along any further. Number 3 is modulatory. So this influences the effects of other chemical messengers by adjusting how cells communicate at the synapse.
Now we move on to the different types of neurotransmitters. There are at least 100 known neurotransmitters and many more yet to be discovered. They can be grouped into types based on their chemical nature. Among the better known categories and neurotransmitter examples are amino acids neurotransmitters. These are involved in most nervous system functions. Among these are gamma aminobutyric acid or GABA, glutamate, and glycine. First, GABA is the most common inhibitory neurotransmitter in the nervous system, particularly in the brain. It regulates brain activity to prevent problems in the areas of anxiety, irritability, concentration, sleep, seizures, and depression. Next, we have glutamate. This is the most abundant neurotransmitter in the brain. It plays a key role in cognitive functions such as thinking, learning, and memory. Imbalances are associated with Alzheimer's disease, dementia, Parkinson's disease, and seizures. And last, we have glycine. It is the most common inhibitory neurotransmitter in the spinal cord. It is involved in controlling hearing processing, pain transmission, and metabolism. Another category that we have is the monoamines neurotransmitters. These regulate consciousness, cognition, attention, and emotion. Abnormalities in this are present in many disorders in the nervous system, and many commonly taken drugs affect these neurotransmitters. Under these are serotonin, histamine, dopamine, epinephrine, and norepinephrine. First, we have serotonin. This is an inhibitory neurotransmitter that helps regulate mood, sleep patterns, sexuality, anxiety, appetite, and pain. Diseases associated with serotonin imbalance include seasonal affective disorder or SAD, anxiety, depression, fibromyalgia, and chronic pain. Next, we have histamine. This regulates body functions including wakefulness, feeding behavior, and motivation. It plays a role in asthma, bronchospasm, mucosal edema, and multiple sclerosis. Then we have dopamine. This plays an important role in your body's reward system, including feeling pleasure, achieving heightened arousal, and learning. Because of this, many highly addictive drugs and hobbies like gambling act directly on the dopamine system. It helps with focus, concentration, memory, sleep, mood, and motivation. This function of the dopamine system is associated with Parkinson's disease, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, restless leg syndrome, and ADHD. Next, we have epinephrine, or what is commonly known as adrenaline. This, along with norepinephrine, are responsible for the body's fight or flight response to fear or stress. These stimulate the body's response by increasing the heart rate, breathing, blood pressure, blood sugar, and blood flow to the muscles, as well as heighten attention and focus to allow us to react to different stressors. Too much of this can lead to high blood pressure, diabetes, and heart disease. And lastly, we have norepinephrine or noradrenaline. Similar to adrenaline, it increases blood pressure and heart rate. It is most widely known for its effects on alertness, arousal, decision-making, attention, and focus. Many medications, particularly stimulants and depression medications, aim to increase norepinephrine levels to improve focus or concentration, to treat ADHD, or to modulate norepinephrine to improve depression symptoms. The next category that we have is the peptide neurotransmitters, and under these are the endorphins, which are considered to be the body's natural pain reliever. Release of endorphins reduces pain and causes what we call feel-good feelings. Low levels of this may play a role in fibromyalgia as well as some types of headaches. And lastly, we have acetylcholine. This excitatory neurotransmitter is released by most neurons in the autonomic nervous system, regulating heart rate, blood pressure, and gut motility. It plays a role in muscle contractions, memory, motivation, sexual desire, sleep, and learning. Imbalances in this are linked with Alzheimer's disease, seizures, and muscle spasms. Neurotransmitters affect us at a macro level more than you would think. For an instance, a recently published article discussed how both cognitive biases and brain biology play a role in our perception of facts. This information is especially relevant in our lives as Filipinos who frequent social media sites, where there are many opportunities to engage in arguments and debates. It was said that winning an argument triggers a flood of hormones, including dopamine and adrenaline. In addition, situations of high stress and distrust causes our body to release another hormone, cortisol, which affects our advanced thought processes, reason, and logic. Our desire to feel the rush from winning arguments and the triggering of our fight-or-flight response, paired with our cognitive biases, make it harder for us to accept new information when they contradict our beliefs, even though they are facts. So the next time you engage in an argument online, it's good to assess whether you're using logic and reasoning, or if the neurotransmitters in your brain are preventing you from hearing what the other side has to say. That's all for our discussion on neurotransmitters. We hope you learned something new today. Thank you.